El presente progresivo. ¿Qué estás haciendo ahora mismo? Are things that you are doing right now. So now I'm going to explain to you how to make the present progressive in Spanish. Remember, the present progressive will be the equivalent of the expression ing in English in present tense, such as I am jumping, I am riding, I am eating. So what do you need in Spanish? Well, you need the verb estar in the present tense, and here it is illustrated for you. Then you're gonna need the present participle of the second verb that you're using. So if you're using an AR verb, the present participle or the ing equivalent in Spanish is ando. And if you are using an ER or IR verb, the present participle or the ing equivalent in Spanish will be yendo. Now let's demonstrate how to make a verb from the infinitive into the present progressive, or just putting the ending of the participio or participle. So hablar is an AR verb. So you remove the AR verb and add the ending ando. So hablar is to talk. Hablando is talking. Comer, an ER verb. Remove the ER and add the ending yendo. Comer is to eat. Comiendo is eating. Vivir, to live. Viviendo, eating. Estudiar, to study. Estudiando, studying. Pensar, to think. Pensando, thinking. Jugar, to play. Jugando, playing. Encender, to light up. Encendiendo, lighting up. Now notice the ones with the asterisk next to them means that these words do not have a stem change in the participle, but it does have a stem change in present tense. Now that you know what verbs you need to create the present progressive, let's see at examples of how to do it in real conversation. Well, let's take a look. Juan está escribiendo la carta. Juan is writing the letter. Notice we use está because it's the form of estar that agrees with Juan, who is third person, so we use the third person of the verb estar. Then the verb escribir, which is to write, we remove the IR and we put yendo. So it translates to Juan está escribiendo la carta. Juan is writing the letter. In example number 2, Andrés y Alicia están comiendo un burrito. That translates to Andrés and Alicia are eating a burrito. So what we do is we take the they form of the verb estar because it's what agrees with our subject, Andrés y Alicia. Then we take the verb comer, which is to eat, and we add the ending yendo, which is the equivalent to IR. And then finally, Pedro y yo estamos jugando a las cartas. Pedro and I are playing cards. The verb estar agrees with the subject, which is the we form, Pedro and I, and then I put ando in the verb jugar. Now let's take a look at some of the verbs that are irregular in the participio. Here we have several examples. We have the verb pedir, which means to ask for. Pidiendo means asking or ordering to. Decir is to say. Diciendo is saying. Dormir is to sleep. Durmiendo is sleeping. Servir is to serve. Sirviendo means serving. Leer is to read. Leyendo is reading. Traer means to bring. Trayendo means bringing. So what's happening here? Let me explain this to you. If the stem of an ER or IR verbs ends in a vowel, yendo will change into yendo, like in the case of leer, which is leyendo, and traer, which means trayendo. The verb ir, which means to go, will become yendo. Ir means to go. Yendo means going. Now let's take a look at the verb pedir, decir, dormir, and servir. Any IR verb that has a stem change in the third person preterite will have the same stem change in the present participle form. One exception is the verb poder, which is an ER verb. Poder also maintains its preterite stem change in the present participle form. And these are some of the irregular verbs in the participle. All right, students, now let's get a little practice. I'm going to show you several pictures and I'm going to ask you a question. Then I want you to pause the video, try to answer it before I give you the correct answer. Let's try this. ¿Qué está haciendo el chico? ¿Qué está haciendo el chico? El chico está saltando. ¿Qué están haciendo los chicos? Los chicos están luchando. ¿Qué estás haciendo tú? Yo estoy practicando el español.